Thanks for listening to Car Talk. You know, NPR has a great new way for you to get the news each morning, a podcast called Up First. Give them 10 minutes and you'll find out the big stories and big ideas of the day. It's the stuff you really need to know and why it matters. Start your day with Up First, weekday mornings by 6 a.m. Eastern Time on the NPR One app and wherever you listen to podcasts.
No, we're not really.
Yeah, we are really on it. Are you ready? And we're Click and Clack the Tappet Brothers, and we're broadcasting this week from an unnamed hotel in downtown Washington. Can we start over again? Anyway.
Okay, I'm all right now. I'm all right now.
You gotta stop taking those laughing pills before the show starts.
There's been a little in-studio tomfoolery of which I was, well, once, not a part.
Right, but
But it was funny.
You started everything. Anyway, my brother usually reads the letters.
We're not really on, are we?
Yeah,
we really are.
Before we get into the calls, I thought it would be nice for me to read a letter because
I always get to read letters.
I never read a letter, and my brother always reads them.
You've learned how to read since last week.
I interrupt him. But we got a letter from someone who has a clever solution for our bring and take dilemma.
No kidding. I have a letter with the same topic. I'll bet your letter's better.
Well, I read 3 letters about the same thing, and everyone suggested that we learn the difference between bring and take.
Yeah.
And Bernie Peterson from Rapid City, South Dakota, suggests there's a cleverer solution, more clever solution than the one of just learning the stuff. Dad, will you bring or take me to the movies? Instead, you substitute for bring or take, drive. So, Dad, will you drive me to the movies?
That's good. I like that.
You can bring / or take and or drive or tow your car in tomorrow. So you can drive your car into the repair shop, or if it doesn't run, you can. Why don't you tow this thing?
I like the basic premise of whenever in doubt,
substitute.
Avoid the problem.
Substitute.
Always evade reality.
Bernie, thanks very much, and we appreciate that. And with
I'm going to take that home.
I'm going to bring it home. Anyway, if you'd like to talk to us, our number is 888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Robin from Bethesda, Maryland.
Hi, Robin. You sound like a very up person.
I feel like a very up person.
Yeah? Good.
You're not a lawyer, are you?
No, I'm not a lawyer.
Your significant other is not a lawyer, is he or she?
No, he's not.
Good.
He hates them with a vengeance.
Great.
No, I'm a very up person because I'm the proud owner of a Plymouth Turismo.
Oh, gee. It's a good thing you are an up person because this could depress somebody.
You mean you're an up person despite the fact?
Oh, no, because of the fact. But I have a terrible family problem.
Yeah.
I have a brother-in-law who is astounded and appalled every time I spend any money on my car. And yeah.
There are people like that. Pay no attention to them.
Imagine how embarrassed I am when my brother spends money on his car. So, but we don't. It's just a little family dirt, and we don't like to talk about it too much.
Yeah, but don't listen to these people.
Yeah, that's what I say. So I recently had my car checked out. I was thinking about buying a new one, but I just can't put it to rest. I've had it so long. It's been so reliable. It's got 100-something thousand miles on it. So I took it to a very reliable, honest mechanic who, in order to bring it up to snuff, he would have to fix the front and rear brakes, the 2 door handles, the water pump, the timing belt, the power steering hose, the air conditioning, and repair a right CV boot, all of which he would do
$1,695.
No, $1,111.
Close, $1,014.36.
Oh, that's very good.
And I am leaning toward getting it repaired, but it's becoming more and more painful to be around my brother-in-law and my sister, who roll their eyes every time.
Are they yuppies? I mean, are they driving?
What kind of a Camry do they have?
They're driving an Infinity.
Oh, gee.
Oh, sure. The haves and the have-nots here. Tell them to contribute to it, and you'll buy an Infinity, too.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
No,
is he a lawyer? Is your brother-in-law a lawyer?
No.
Okay.
No.
What is he?
Is he a bag man?
He is. He's a garbage man. He's a chemical engineer.
Oh, yeah. Chemical engineers, they make big bucks.
Yeah, he deals with garbage. So.
Oh, yeah.
So I am going to do this. I have decided I'm going to put the $1,000 into my 1984 car.
Don't be precipitous, Robin. Hold on a minute.
Oh, no.
Gee, wait, really? These words coming from Thomas L. Magliozzi?
Are they sure it needs both door handles?
Yeah, I mean, after all, how often do you have passengers in this car? Nobody wants to ride with you. You only need one door handle.
One door handle's enough. That'll bring it right down to under $1,000. Well, I mean, before you go plunking $1,000 into this car, we have. I mean, I've always said fix everything, right?
Right. That's why I called you.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to temper this advice with some kind of sanity. And it starts out with, what did you start with? And you started with a Turismo, so it's questionable even like on the second day of ownership. So the real question is, how is the rest of the car? Is the body good? Does it have
Body's
rust?
great. There's not an inch of rust on it.
Has anyone ever checked the engine to see how the compression is and stuff?
He did an engine check. This mechanic did an engine check as well, and he says it's great.
Does it burn any oil?
No.
How frequently have you changed the oil?
More frequently lately. But
Does he talk about his boat when you go to see him?
No, actually, he was very surprised, this mechanic, when he drove it and did an engine test.
I'm sure he said
it does have a new carburetor.
I know it's the body shop next door to us. I thought I should mention this. They have pictures around the shop of the guys on their boats. I told them,
bad.
take those down, or at least throw a drape over them when the customers come in. But it just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But speaking from the auto repair person's point of view, I could certainly see where he would encourage you to fix this car. Although I would have to agree with Tommy that it is old and it wasn't a great car to begin with. But you love it, don't you, Robin?
I feel so good in this car.
Well, if you feel good in this car, $1,000. I mean, if you bought another car that you didn't like, you'd spend a lot of money on it. You wouldn't make you as happy as this. You'd have to spend perhaps some more money on psychiatrists. So you might as well, if this is giving you peace of mind, you might as well spend them. $1,000 is peanuts.
It's peanuts.
It really is.
It's 3 months payment on that Infinity.
There you go.
2 months.
No, it's 2 months.
Point.
No,
2 months.
It's 1 month when you add the sales tax and all the other stuff, all the other hidden costs.
If you love this car and you've been changing the oil reasonably religiously, then $1,000. Think of all the things you're going to get fixed for that $1,000.
Just the door handles alone are worth $500.
I mean, climbing in and out the windows must be a pain in the butt.
No, it hasn't come to that yet.
I say go for it and tell your brother-in-law and your sister. I don't know what to tell them.
Flake off.
Am I validated then?
You are certainly validated. You are absolutely validated.
You have our blessing.
Why waste all the planet's resources building another car?
Thank you.
We should just use what we've got.
Cars should last forever.
There are plenty of cars already for everyone in this country and then some. We don't have to make any more cars.
Look at the example.
Get your car neutered.
Look at the example of Cuba. They are subsisting on 1956 Chevys and Fords.
Exactly.
There you go.
Right?
You know why?
That's all they have.
They got no gasoline, so they can't drive them.
So, Robin, you can tough it out for at least another decade with this.
Oh,
Good luck with your car and enjoy it.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Scott from Saugerties, New York.
Hi,
who?
Scott.
Saugerties, New York.
Sogarts, T-E-S, or something like that?
Saugerties. It's some Dutch word.
Some
Yeah,
Dutch
it's their
word.
spelling of Socrates, but it's close enough. Anyway, Scott, what's going on, man?
Okay, well, I've got a unique car and a unique problem.
Yeah.
I have a 96 Suzuki X90.
Yes.
You were one of the people who bought one of those.
Yes, I actually know the other two people in my area that have them. We all wave to each other.
Well, they're the other two people in the country. This thing, I'm not sure how to describe this thing. It is a sedan.
It's a two-seater.
Yeah. It's very small.
Right. It's very tiny, and I get lots of looks.
Lots of looks like, what a schmo. So what's cooking?
Well, this past summer, the transmission started acting up, or maybe the clutch. Here's my deal. When I go to work, I drive about 50 miles, 30 miles highway, and then the last 20 miles is stop-and-go traffic. And about halfway through that, it gets really hard to shift.
Mm-hmm.
Can't downshift into first.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get to my parking space and try to back in, put it in reverse, and it whines and grates and takes a long time to get into reverse. So I figured probably a clutch. Went to a mechanic last fall. And
Probably not.
Okay, well, he said, yeah, you need a clutch.
He did.
That's what he said. He said,
Well, go ahead. I'm so far, I'm with him.
okay.
I'm not.
Okay. Well, it gets really interesting now because he said $600, and I said, well, that's not in the budget right now. And this was last fall.
Yeah.
Now here's the fun thing. Starting around November, when it started getting cold, problem completely disappeared. Now the weather's getting nice again.
Problem's back.
Yeah, and that clutch is now $750.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, inflation.
Well, here's what I think is
Okay.
wrong.
Go ahead. I mean, you were with that guy who said, I think you need a clutch?
Yeah, it sounded logical to me.
I'm talking to my brother.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Scott.
Talking to my brother.
No, I am. Except
Why?
I think you're overlooking one piece. Here's what I think is wrong with your clutch.
Go ahead.
I think you have a bad pilot bearing.
Ooh.
Okay, and the pilot bearing is the thing that supports the very end of the transmission shaft. In fact, it's housed by the flywheel.
Okay.
Now, if it happens that thing begins to bind up, then when you step on the clutch, the shaft, in fact, will not stop turning like it's supposed to,
Okay.
which could make it very difficult to shift.
I gotcha.
And it could be that it's just worn out enough or bad enough so that in very hot weather it does it, or after you've been driving for a while it does it.
You think so? Okay.
And we'll do it for 9.
Okay.
Wait a minute. If you think it's the bearing, how is a clutch going to fix it?
Well, when he does the clutch, he's going to replace the pilot bearing. I mean, that's why when he said you need a clutch, if he doesn't replace the pilot bearing, you're going to have the same problem.
Okay.
So I'm not even sure it has a pilot bearing, first of all. But
Are you sure it doesn't have a hydraulic clutch?
No, I've never even driven one.
Man, I would sure check the hydraulic components of the clutch before I went ripping the transmission out.
Okay.
Well, on the other
Because we
hand,
can explain it. We can explain the temperature thing.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but that would be too easy.
Okay.
This guy checked that.
I'll bet he didn't.
I would call the Suzuki parts department
Okay.
and ask them if there is a pilot bearing.
Oh, okay.
And if they say no, then disregard everything we've just spoken about for the last 14 minutes. And look at the hydraulics. If it even has a hydraulic clutch, we don't know.
We don't know that either.
Well, I'll definitely call you back and let you know which one it is.
I'm afraid so, yeah. See you later, man.
Thanks.
Thanks for your
Yeah,
call.
good luck.
Bye. 1-888-CAR-TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Alex from Cambridge.
Hi, Alex.
Massachusetts?
Yes.
Get out.
Yep.
Wow, what
Our
part?
fair city.
What part of Cambridge?
Northern Cambridge.
Northern.
They
That would be near the Arlington line.
Yes.
They
yes.
wouldn't let us into that part of town when we were kids. So what's going on, Alex?
I'm calling about a Jetta that recently had the shifting bracket replaced.
The bracket that holds the shift linkage.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's my boyfriend's car, and I think that this shifting bracket had to be replaced because of the way he drives it. If I'm driving it, I will leave say if you're in stop-and-go traffic, I'll leave the clutch pressed in first gear and sort of inch up as I go and leave it in gear. And he'll take it out of gear after each time he moves.
Oh, so you think he's shifting too much?
Oh,
Right.
So if he's in traffic, he'll put it in first gear, he'll move 5 feet, take it out of gear,
Yeah.
and take his foot off the clutch.
Yes.
How
Whereas
many
you
miles
won't.
are on? How many miles are on this car?
About 40,000.
And do you ride with him a lot where he's behind the wheel?
Yeah.
How rough is he?
Beg your pardon?
He drives the car pretty hard, I think.
Yeah.
Is this his car or yours?
It's his car.
Pay attention. What has she said? It's my boyfriend's car. Jeez, you gotta pay attention. I mean, this is a game of inches here. You miss a little point like that, it could be the difference between a right answer and a wrong one.
What does he do for a living?
He works in the mental health field. We both do.
Oh, I may know him.
So I'm wondering if you can solve this dilemma, this
Well,
argument.
the technique that you use, I think, is just as valid as the technique that he uses.
Okay.
So I don't think
That's not
I
going to
don't think he's damaging. I think the way he drives otherwise is damaging the shifter because he's an animal. To put it
Well, I
bluntly.
wouldn't say that exactly.
Yeah, I think he's frustrated by this car. I'm going to guess this car for him doesn't have enough power.
Yeah.
That he's frustrated that
he's
it's
a BMW wannabe.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. When he puts it in first gear, does he just slide it gently into first gear, or does he jam it into first gear? And when he goes from first to second, does he jam it down into second?
Well,
what do you think?
He's probably not listening. You can say anything you want.
He's standing right next to her.
He won't even recognize your voice if he hears
He's standing right next to her.
Is he there, Alex?
he's in the other room.
Is the door closed?
Yes, I think he jams it.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain the bracket needing to be replaced.
Okay.
But not the technique, the differences
So
in
is
the
the
technique.
reason for your call that he accused your method of being responsible for the wear of this part, or did you take it upon yourself to accuse him?
It was my idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a troublemaker.
Not usually.
Not usually.
But I think that he's the culprit.
Okay, I'm wondering how long this new one will last then.
Well, 40,000 miles
Okay.
probably. But he'll have gotten rid of the car by then.
Yeah. He'll have a BMW.
Well, maybe if we change professions.
I recommend the 325.
See you, Alex.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Tommy, look, it's time to take a break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we'll answer last week's puzzler, which was about Pinewood Derby race cars.
Those are cars with no engines, right?
Yes, but your Fiat's not eligible. I already know what you're thinking, and not starting is not the same as having no engine.
Oh, too bad.
Oh, yeah, a real loss for the Derby. Anyway, the puzzler was...
Say it. This is NPR.
Support for Car Talk and the following message comes from ZipRecruiter. When you own a business, if you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. Thanks to ZipRecruiter.com, you can post to 100-plus job sites with one single click and have the highest chance of finding that perfect candidate. Plus, you can instantly be matched to candidates from over 6 million resumes. Businesses of all sizes have used ZipRecruiter. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/CarTalk. Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers, and we're here to talk about cars, car repair, and the answer to last week's puzzler. And I think I mentioned this was a quasi-automotive puzzler. I mean...
Yeah, it's pretty...
Right?
Yeah, quasi-automotive. Automotives were involved.
Indeed, and it was sent in by a fellow named John Whittier. He writes, "This is the season for Cub Scouts all over the country to hold their Pinewood Derby races. For those of you who don't know what this is, it's a contest where kids build little wooden race cars. You know, they give you a block of wood and four wheels, if you're lucky, and a bunch of nails. And
you make a car out of it.
Yeah. Anyway, he says, my two sons built their cars and wanted to compete against each other at home prior to the real race. So I built a simple racetrack out of materials that I had on hand. I only had enough material to build a one-lane track, but not to worry. I plan to run the cars individually and use a stopwatch to time each of them. So son A would put his car at the top and let it go. I'd start the watch, and when it got across the finish line, I'd click the watch again. But when we attempted to hold these races, I discovered that the cars traversed my little track so quickly that I couldn't start and stop the watch fast enough to accurately measure the times.
Sure, that baby's...
So we could really determine which car was faster. We couldn't do it. But then my younger son, who was 8 years old at the time, came up with a solution. Now, don't forget, all we had was the two cars, the test track, which we know was kind of short, the stopwatch, a quart of Filippo Berio extra virgin olive oil, a liter of Welch's grape juice, and the three of us, the two boys, and myself. What solution did my son come up with?
8-year-old son.
8-year-old son. This kid's going places.
This kid is going places, is right.
Well, it doesn't involve the Filippo Berio olive oil. It doesn't involve the stopwatch. He very simply said, let's put both cars on the track, one behind the other. If the front car, that is the car closest to the finish line, is faster, when we release the two cars, simultaneously, of course, that one will pull away from the other one, and it will be the faster car.
Otherwise, the other one will push it over the finish
Well, once
line.
you've done that first heat, you then reverse the position of the cars and see if, in fact, the no gap opens, and then the rear car, which had been the front car, will be the faster car.
8-year-old.
8-year-old little twerp. Good work. So who's our winner, Tommy?
The winner is Don Eaton from Charleston, South Carolina, and for having his answer selected at random from the pup tent full of correct answers that we got, Don is going to win a $26 gift certificate to the Shameless Commerce Division, which is at cartalk.com. With that $26 gift certificate, he can pick up our latest collection of classic calls, The Hatchback of Notre Dame. Wow.
Really?
That's what it's called. The title of the CD, The Hatchback.
Can you actually get that for $26 when you include the shipping, handling, gratuities?
No, I think when you add that, it's $91.
Anyway, we'll have a brand new puzzler coming up in the third half of the show today, so don't go anywhere. And right now, if you have a question about your car or anything, give us a call. The number is 888-CAR-TALK. That's 227-8255. It also happens to spell 888-BARBECUE-YOU-ALL.
Does it?
Yes, sirree.
Barbecue you all. I love it.
Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Ruth from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Ruth,
Hi,
now, there's a
Ruth.
name you don't hear. That's an old world name.
Well, it's better than the one my mom wanted to name me. Let's put it that way.
Was it Gabriella?
No, it was Jacqueline Odette.
Jacqueline Odette.
Yeah, my dad was a little more simple, and he said, let's have single syllables.
Jacqueline Odette.
Yeah, well...
The whole thing, not just Jacqueline. That wasn't enough for her.
No, but you got to know my mom.
Yeah, I'd like to. What's up?
I have a 97 Oldsmobile Achieva.
You know, I wanted to name my first son.
Achieva?
No. Bartolomeo Vanzetti. That was going to be his first name. But
Yeah.
didn't work out. It wouldn't have fit on his report card, so we gave up that. Anyway, 97 Achieva.
Yeah, I have a coolant hemorrhage. I think it's coming out of a... well, actually, I had somebody look at it, and he thought it might be the water pump.
Mm-hmm.
I took it to somebody else because of the price that this guy quoted to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy said he thought it was a pressure leak and suggested that I put something in like bar leak. And he actually put something in that was a water pump lubricant and a coagulant. And he said anytime this stuff comes into contact with air, it'll seal it. Well, the coolant leak slowed down. I was going about 2 gallons of coolant a week, and then that's
2
a lot.
gallons?
Yeah,
Huh.
2 gallons, I know. And then I went down to about a quart a week, and now it's slowed down a little bit more from that. And the light, the low coolant light, has gone off in the car.
Probably sealed up, too.
But I checked the tank just to keep an eye on it, and it's always dry. I'm always putting coolant in.
Oh.
So I guess the question is, can it be actually fixed with this bar leak stuff, or is it going to take $450 to fix it?
Oh, $450? That's all he wanted?
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
Oh, but I didn't want it to be the water pump.
it is.
Oh.
It in all likelihood, it is. The stomp leak will slow it down, but it will never stop it.
Okay. I'm trying to buy a little time because, this is the beginning
Don't.
of May, and we got hit by taxes this year.
Well, here's the deal. If you don't do the water pump and you allow it to leak the way it's leaking, you're going to wreck the engine. Here's what's happening. What he's plugging up is what's called the weep hole in the water pump. There's a small hole that's supposed to drip coolant when the seal in the water pump goes. So what he's doing is he's plugging up the weep hole, but we'll never plug it up entirely with this.
Because the seal is sort of in motion. The fact that it has slowed down and still is leaking strongly suggests that it is the water pump.
And let's say that this plug blows out because the leak becomes worse someday and you lose 2 gallons of water while you're on the highway. The needle's going to shoot all the way up to hot, and you're going to melt the engine. And then instead of being $450, it's going to be $3,500.
But, I mean, he should be 100% sure that it's the water pump because it's pretty obvious if it's coming out of the water pump.
Well, he said he couldn't find the water pump.
Yeah, he couldn't find the water pump, yet he knew the job was $450. So this tells me he's never done one before.
Oh, boy.
But he's thinking it couldn't possibly be more than $450.
Oh.
Yeah, I would call any General Motors dealer, whether it be Buick or whatever, and they'll tell you how much it costs for real.
Okay.
And get it fixed. My brother will lend you the money. Don't worry about it. And you know
Don't worry about it.
He doesn't pay his taxes. Why do you have to pay yours?
Okay, well, thanks, guys.
See you, Ruth.
I think I'm going to blow the car up.
Yeah, you're going to. Bye.
So long,
Bye.
Jacqueline Odette. We could have been saying that, and we're not. Hey! Do you know what it's time for?
Time to lock in our Sleepy LaBeef New Year's tickets.
No. It's time to play Stump the Chumps. All right, Stump the Chumps is that portion of the show in which we get back in touch with someone who was actually gracious enough and gullible enough, not only to listen to our advice, but also to try to apply the advice.
And who's this week's contestant?
Well, it's Tom from Boca Raton, Florida. We spoke to Tom about a very weird wobbling, clacking problem on his 92 Honda Accord.
Oh, yeah, and if I remember correctly, you homed right in on it, didn't you?
I'm sure I did.
Starts to shake in my hand.
Uh-huh.
And this is a pretty severe vibration. If I do it, I'll actually get a headache.
Because I have a theory.
I do too.
That fits everything.
All right. I'm going to write down in small print.
I am too. And I'm going to show you mine.
Okay, I've got my two ideas written down.
Let me see yours. Oh, you got your head of that. Okay, so after we performed the anal encephalotomy, what advice did we give to Tom?
Well, we were both afraid that the noise he was hearing on turns and the wobbling he experienced on the highway were the result of loose lug nuts, and that would be very bad.
We told him to go right out and check all the lug nuts and call us right back.
Which he did, and he came back and told us that I had my head...
Right, in its usual position. So our second guess was that he had a severely defective tire, a tire with serious tread separation. We told him that he shouldn't drive in it and should have it checked out right away.
But then, of course, we told him never to call us back, but here he is. Tom, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, before you tell us once again that our bodies are contorted in a very unusual way, we have to Carmen Mirandize you.
Is it true, Tom, that the answer you are about to give here on Stump the Chumps is in no way influenced by promises of cash or prizes by us, our staff, or the staff at NPR?
Nor the Caribbean vacation.
Would you consider accepting cash or prizes from any of the above?
Actually, I would.
He would. All right. So what was wrong with it? Have you figured it out yet?
Well, so I get in the car.
Yeah.
And I take your advice. I don't know what got over me that I decided I would take your advice.
That was silly, wasn't it?
and I took off down the road, and instead of going the other way and going to the highway, I headed east toward the beach.
Ah, good.
Pulled into the Boca Shell.
Yeah.
Out comes Tony.
Yeah.
One look at my tire in the back left side and says, "You've lost the tread. It's separated."
Wow.
You guys scored 100%.
Scored big. Well, it was our second guess, though. It shouldn't have been.
What you forgot is that you offered me a third option.
Oh.
You said it could also be bad CV joint.
There was a possibility still.
But you need those two?
Indeed.
Ah! Whoa! Hey, two out of three. Not bad. Well, you've spent a few bucks this week, then.
Yeah, it's been quite a week.
Well, you're down there in the high rent district, so you must have it.
Yeah, I want you to know, Tom, that when you told us that your lug nuts were tight, that was a low point in our lives.
Oh, man.
We both left the studio with long faces.
Oh, you couldn't speak to us all week. We've been so glum.
Yeah, my brother's face was long and ugly.
We've been glum.
I
Glum,
would like to
say.
say, if I had gone the other way and been on the highway,
we would never have heard from you again.
That would have been the last that anybody would have ever heard.
Exactly.
Could well be.
So, from the bottom of my heart, guys, thanks.
Tom, we saved your life.
Thanks for playing Stump the Chumps,
and
Tom.
You saved our show. Because we had the cancellation notice from NPR on our desks. Thanks again for playing Stump the Chumps, man.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you want to call us with a question about your car, our number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, this is Anne from Albany, New York.
Hi, Anne from Albany.
Anne, is it snowing in Albany?
No, it's not. It's actually up in the high 50s.
Well, yeah. Okay.
But he can spoil anything, couldn't he? Here is a beautiful day in Albany, and now Anne's thinking, oh, only the 50s? Oh, geez, I should really be depressed about this.
What's up, Anne?
Well, I have an 89 Ford Escort. It has 175,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Good for you.
It's a really good car.
You know, I have to say that we have, on occasion, bad-mouthed the Escort.
Well,
But I have come to appreciate the Escort. I think the Escort is a magnificent little vehicle.
It's treated me real good.
Sure.
Well, magnificent may be a little strong.
Maybe a little strong.
It's an adequate little vehicle.
It's an adequate little vehicle. Quite adequate. And it's certainly it does not warrant all the bad mouthing.
It is undeserving.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And all the recall notices make good scrap paper.
They
so.
certainly do.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with it now? That piece of junk.
Well, well, it started making a really loud hum. The hum is coming from underneath the car in the back. Yes.
Does it make a difference if you're moving or not?
Yes, it's only when I move.
Only
when you move.
And as you go faster, it goes higher pitch.
Just louder.
Yes, it gets louder.
But as soon as you stop, the noise goes away.
Well, it gets lower when I stop.
Oh, whoa. If you're at a stop,
Okay.
you get out of the house in the morning, you have your coffee, you walk out of the house, you get in the car, you turn the key, it starts up, you're sitting there.
There's a hum.
There's a hum.
There's a hum.
Before you even move.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we know what it is.
Okay. That changes things.
Changes everything. This changes everything.
Okay.
Because
but it reduces the price. Well, maybe not by much.
No, I think it increases the price.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
You do.
I had previously thought that you had a bad rear wheel bearing.
Aha.
But now he doesn't think that anymore. Now he thinks you have a bad
Fuel
pump.
A bad fuel pump.
Yeah, you have an electric pump which is located inside the tank, and it's probably been there for about 175,000 miles.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And it has given up the ghost or is soon to do that. And that's nice. It's a warning that you should do something about it, because when it fails, then you won't get any fuel pumped. If a fuel pump doesn't pump fuel, what does a fuel pump pump?
And it won't pump anything. But this is the early warning sign.
Okay.
And the reason that it makes so much noise and it's so obvious is that it's inside the tank, and it's using the tank as a reverberation chamber.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So when that pump, when the bearings in that motor start to go, they really make an awful noise. If you had the thing in your hand, it wouldn't sound anywhere near as bad as it does inside the tank.
Yeah,
and
sort
the
of
closer
like being
to
in the
empty,
bathroom.
Exactly. It's like singing in the shower.
So my car has good acoustics.
Your car has good acoustics.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the lower the fuel level in the tank, the noisier the pump sounds, I bet. You may have noticed that as well.
Yes,
because it's
I
got
have,
more room around it to reverberate.
Hang up the phone right now while you still have time.
Okay.
And run out and have a new fuel pump put in.
Okay.
Because it's going to break on you. Don't wait till it breaks.
Okay.
Because you know it's going to break in the middle of the night during a heavy rainstorm when you're far away from home. Do it immediately.
Okay. I will do that.
See you, Ann.
When my wife's car had this problem,
you.
Yes.
She had a Volvo, and then it had this problem, and I told her not to fix it because it was an indication that you were low on fuel.
No, you just
because the fuel gauge didn't work. And since the fuel gauge didn't work, you could use the noise of the fuel pump to tell you that you were low on fuel. How was that, huh?
She fell for that.
Save money both ways. You don't have to replace the gauge, and you don't have to replace the pump. Yeah.
Some guys will go to any extreme to save a buck.
Well, just to show you how there's poetic justice in the world, the car broke down when I was driving it.
Good.
And it was raining.
Right. You called everyone you knew to get a ride home, and everyone hung up on you.
Everyone hung up on me. You deserve it, you cheapskate.
All right, look, it's time for us to take a little break.
Good. Do I have time enough to clear my head?
Time? Yes, but I don't think we have the hazardous waste permits.
We're going to be back with a brand new puzzler in just a minute.
Sport Utility Vehicle. She's got four-wheel drive, I can shift on the fly. Man, she's looking so good. With her shiny chrome wheels and a leather interior, dashboard trimmed in wood. Yeah, my CD's cranking, speaker right under the hood.
And even though the statues on Easter Island put on noise-canceling headphones whenever we say it, this is NPR.
Summer movie season gets louder and longer every year. I'm Linda Holmes. For a guide through the blockbusters you know about and the surprise bright spots you might not, Pop Culture Happy Hour has you covered. We'll tell you what we're looking forward to, what we're secretly dreading, and what might just sneak up on all of us. Find Pop Culture Happy Hour on the NPR One app or wherever you get podcasts.
Support for the Car Talk podcast comes from Harry's, the razor company started by two best friends who believe a great shave shouldn't cost a fortune. Harry's makes high-quality razor blades and sells them online for half the price of the leading brand. And Harry's is so confident in the quality of their blades, they'll send you a 5-blade razor and shave gel for free. Just pay for shipping when you sign up. To redeem your free trial offer, go to harrys.com/cartalk. Ha! We're back. You're
Don't wake me up like that.
We're listening. We're not listening. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Collect, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss, of course, cars, car repair, and of the new puzzler.
Yeah.
Which I guess would have to be mathematical in nature.
I love them.
You do.
I really do.
Right.
I don't get most of them, but I like them. They feel good, you know?
Just remember this. It only works if
No.
the number... You can't do it unless the number is 2. Well, that's a hint.
That's a hint to the new puzzler.
Yeah.
Is it about mango trees?
Close.
Banana trees?
Here's the deal.
Potato trees? Why don't potatoes grow on trees?
I'm going to give you $1,001 bills.
1,001. Oh, I know this puzzle.
Okay.
And you're going to give me a bunch of envelopes.
I'm not going to give you no stinking envelopes. They cost a penny a piece. You get your own damn envelope. I just gave you $1,000.
You can afford your own envelope.
You want everything?
Okay, you're going to give me $1,001 bills.
And you're going to come up with 10 envelopes.
Oh, it is that puzzler. Okay.
And your assignment is to figure out a way to configure those envelopes, i.e., to put various numbers of dollar bills in these different envelopes so that no matter what amount of money I ask you for, you can hand me some combination of envelopes and always be assured of giving me.
So if I say give me $637, I can say that would be envelope number 1, envelope number 6, and envelope number 2.
There you go.
And here you go, $637.
Right. So no matter what number I ask for, between 1 and 1,000, you'll be able to give me the appropriate envelope or envelopes. You like it?
I do. Now, and I'm not going to even mention it. I'm not going to say anything about it because I think I know how to do it. Well, and I don't want to give away any hints.
What? How is this different from any other puzzle I do? Now, if you think you know the answer, write it on a postcard or on the back of a hand-carved Victorian-era white Italian marble fireplace mantle, 52 inches wide, and send it to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Our fair city.
Matt 02238. Or you can email your answer from cartalk.com. By the way, we did receive, although it wasn't a yacht, we did receive some nice hats from the kind people at Hinckley Yachts.
I mean,
I just assume that the yacht is in the mail.
Well, I presume that the picture they sent us is the one they're sending us.
I think so. The yacht's in the mail. I've heard that before.
The yacht's in the mail.
Yeah.
And they sent us a couple of nice little keychains because I guess you need a key
to start the yacht.
There were no keys on those keychains.
Yeah, that bothered me.
That troubled me a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens with the Italian marble fireplace mantle.
There's always hope. 1-888-Car Talk. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, fellas. How you doing?
Oh, not
Great.
bad. Who are you?
This is Finley from Jacksonville, North Carolina.
What's your first name?
Finley.
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 Oh, yeah. I did this. I had the same reaction. I thought I had missed your first name.
Yeah, most people call me Mr. Finley, but
did you say Jacksonville, North Carolina?
Right.
Where the hell is that? It's in North Carolina.
Camp Lejeune.
Camp Lejeune.
Yeah.
Hey, now we're talking.
Yeah, that's where they train the Avon ladies.
That's right.
Oh, used car salesman. What's up?
Hey, I got a question for you about oil filters on Toyota cars.
Yeah, you notice they got smaller?
Yeah, they're hard to get your hand down there and get them out, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you must. Like I said, you have a 16-valve Corolla.
Yeah, no, I've got a Camry right now. I just traded in an '87 Camry.
Oh yeah, you can't get them off of Camrys either because you need. Where did you get your?
You
why were you
special click and clack tool J10704? You send us $100,
and we'll send you one of them and a set of fuzzy dice.
I'll send you 5 $20 bills for that.
Okay. Now you, where did you get the filter?
Well, that's my question. I've got a service manager that tells me that I've got to use Toyota filters because if I use a Fram or something like that, which I've been doing, that if I don't use a Toyota filter, there's no oil being pumped up on the valves for about the first 8 or 9 seconds that the engine's running.
Oh, is this guy from North Carolina or from Waco, Texas?
He's from North Carolina. He showed me this cutaway Toyota filter, and it cost a bit, not too much more, but it cost a bit more money. And he said if you don't use a Toyota filter, which is specially designed to get oil up on the valves for the first 7 or 8 seconds the engine's running, at about 70 or 80,000 miles, there's a possibility you might need a valve job because it's been running dry for the first 5 or 6 seconds. And
I'd find it hard to believe that Fram was making oil filters since before there was oil.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right, they made oil filters for olive oil back in the old days.
Right, for those chariots.
With the chariots back in 06, 0006.
Yeah.
They used extra virgin olive oil and at the time it was called Framo.
Framus.
Oh, is that
Framus filters, yeah.
They were called Framus filters,
yeah.
right.
You see the movie Ben-Hur?
Yeah. You look on the side of that thing, you'll see an oil filter that says Framus on it.
Anyway, Finley, not to make light of this, but I think that Fram is probably capable of making a filter for this.
I think so, too.
Toyota.
I just can't convince this guy that, I haven't really been twisting his arm to convince him, but it's just been niggling at me ever since.
Did you buy the extended warranty?
Huh?
Did you buy the 100,000-mile warranty?
Oh, no,
No, you
didn't. I won't buy an extended warranty.
I'm sure that we will get a letter from Framus tomorrow, and we'll know the real answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you probably would be well advised, and don't tell me when you got the information here, to continue using the Toyota filters.
Yeah?
At least until you find out something to the contrary. You can dash off a letter to Fram, and we'll do the same and see who gets an answer first. They don't write to us because...
If I get it, I'll call you back.
But,
Dear Mr. Fram.
But to answer the more important question, how do you get the filter off? You need to buy from Toyota.
Wait a minute, he doesn't want to take it off now. If he doesn't have the money to buy the Toyota filter, just leave the old one on. It's probably better than some cheap Fram filter.
30,000 miles.
It's been on for 130,000. Oh, that's good. No. When you go back to the Toyota dealer, ask them if you can buy one of their oil filter wrenches.
Yeah.
Because without that wrench,
it's a real pain to get it off. Yeah.
No, it sure is, and we used to take them off with the air chisel until we bought the wrench. But
we take the engine out. It's a lot easier.
I use an old screwdriver and a hammer myself.
Yeah. The only trouble with that technique is if you miss, you're done for.
Yeah, or if you don't succeed in getting it off, it's tough to drive with the oil filter leaking. So
with a big hole in it. Yeah.
Yeah. You can drive about 3 blocks.
But you can just run a hose right up to those valves, and then you won't need an oil filter.
Right.
That's it. So buy the wrench and buy a case of filters, and then you won't have to call us back again.
Hey, can I get another question from you?
Sure. Hey, that one was so easy.
My neighbor Ed just bought a new pickup. Okay, he bought a Ford Ranger, and he's a city guy. See, and I can't convince him that he needs to baptize it by hauling a load of manure. I need some manure for my garden.
Of course he does.
How do I convince him that you just have? If you own a pickup, you got to haul a load of manure.
That's right. I mean, if he doesn't do it, of course, he doesn't realize all the bad things that are going to happen to him. I mean, wheels are going to start falling off. And it's terrible. It's very dangerous.
Here's what you do first, though.
Yeah.
Buy him a case of air fresheners.
Right.
And leave them in the front seat, and just that'll give him the idea that you need help, but you're willing to contribute to this effort by helping to relieve the odor afterwards.
Either that.
Get us his name in there. We'll send him manure in the mail.
I mean, if you know where he lives, just someday bring the load of manure over there or take it to him. And
he lives right next to me.
Oh, then fill up his truck some night when he's not around.
And they see it's not so bad. And
it's not so bad.
Is how long has he had the truck?
About a week.
Oh, he won't let you borrow it yet, will he?
No, I asked him to borrow it to haul the manure, and he said he'd come for me to go rent a truck.
Oh, Finley, no, you've got to tell him you're going to go pick up some 4x8 sheets of plywood.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Right, so I need to pick up some plywood to hold the manure down.
That's right. Cram it down on top of the manure, yeah.
Yeah, don't tell him about the manure. Oh, I didn't mention that? I'm awfully sorry.
Yeah, that's right. When you pick up the plywood, you have to get manure. That's part of the deal.
It is. It comes with it. Yeah. Good luck.
Okay, fellas, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I like your program.
Good luck.
Bye-bye. 1-888-CAR-TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Karen from Riverside, California.
Hi, Karen.
What's up?
Well, I have a kind of a two-part problem, and I can't figure it out.
Part 1 and Part B.
Right. Shoot.
That's right.
1.
Okay, first part is, when I was in high school many years ago, I took a driver's education. And one day the teacher asked, what would you do if, A, you were driving your car in San Francisco downhill, and at the bottom of the hill was a stop sign, and B, your brakes and then your emergency brakes didn't work? I answered. Well, I'm not done yet.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you the. This is a multiple choice test, right?
Yeah, except
Sure.
we're not anywhere near close to being finished yet, and then you'll understand why I'm
Continue,
all right. Go
Karen.
ahead.
Continue with the story. We'll do our best not to
shut up.
interrupt.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I answered shift to reverse. The teacher said that wasn't the right answer.
Teacher's
but
right.
Huh?
The teacher's right.
Don't interrupt.
Oh, I'm not interrupting.
Just listen.
But he also said that it might work if the transmission held up. Well, I've since forgotten the right answer, and none of this would bother me except that now we get to part 2. And part 2 is, you see, in the meantime, I got married and became stepmother to a fox terrier.
Yeah.
And my husband and I were driving our 76 Honda Accord semi-automatic along the freeway with the fox terrier in the car, and we were going about 60 to 65 miles per hour. The dog became outraged by something and stood between us over the transmission box, and he was barking real, crazy. Anyway, he knocked the gear shift lever into what my husband thought was first. He couldn't see where the gear shift lever was because the dog was in the way. But by the sound of the engine, he thought it was first, except that it was actually in neutral. So he then shifted into what he thought was second.
And it was reverse.
Reverse, yes.
Great, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, the car continued to sail forward, I'm not kidding.
Sure.
And it made a terrible racket. And I was hysterical and incoherent at this time.
But at least it was a test of your theory from high school.
That's right. But anyway, I finally managed to get across to my husband that he was in reverse. So he didn't shift it into park, which is what I was terrified of. But anyway, he got it into whatever gear it was supposed to be in. And then after stopping the car, we thought the car was probably completely wrecked by now.
It was perfect, right?
Yeah, it was fine. It was great. As if nothing had ever happened.
Nothing did happen.
And
Don't interrupt.
Nothing happened?
No.
Well,
Did you get rid of that stupid dog, though?
Well, anyway, my question to you is, do you know what is the right answer to the driver's ed teacher's question?
Of course. Do we know? Karen.
Can you explain this car, and is there a relation between the two?
All right, we'll answer the questions in the order of importance. First of all...
I just want to say, this is a great
You're not supposed
question.
to interrupt. But when careening down a hill with the inability to stop the car by using the brakes, which you no longer have, you have the foot brake has failed and the handbrake has failed. What you have to do is side swipe enough cars to slow you down. What you have to do is you have to use the scrape theory. You don't want to hit anything broadside or head on. What you want to do is, like, catch a few cabs with the doors open. That usually will slow you right down without doing great damage to the car. But you just wing off a couple of Chevy doors.
At that point, you're not worried about damage to the car.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, the correct answer is downshift.
Uh-huh.
But you don't want to shift in reverse because it won't go into reverse.
I see.
Right? I mean, if you had a manual transmission car and you tried to put it in reverse, it wouldn't go. And it wouldn't even get close to going into reverse because you're going so fast in the opposite direction. So what you want to do is slow down, and you would do that by getting into the lowest gear you could get into. And don't forget, it's going to be harder and harder to get into low gears when you go faster and faster.
But automatic, you can just slam it into first, and it will do that.
Right. If it's an automatic, you just slam it into first.
And then look for the side swipees.
Then you start side swiping things, and then you bail out.
When you get down to about 8-10 miles an hour.
Right. When you get down to Fisherman's Wharf there, you just aim that baby for the water and you bail out.
Right. You just hope it doesn't get the guys with the push carts with the crabs on them. But seriously, you have to try to downshift. And, of course, if you absolutely can't stop, and you have to look for something that you can hit that's not going to kill them or you, being, of course, aware of the fact that you want to avoid injuring someone else. It's not their fault that your brakes fail, so you try to crash into something that's soft. Like what?
Like a balloon or something. Some giant balloon happens to be by the side of the road. The reason that nothing happened to your Accord is because all cars with automatic transmission have an interlock, which prevents the car from going into reverse when you're going faster than some speed, like 10 miles an hour or something.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
I mean, it wanted to go into reverse because you put it there, but it won't go into reverse.
Right, some cars actually have a mechanical lockout, too, which prevents you from going into reverse unless you actually do something like press a button or do something with the shifter.
Right.
Okay, but the cars that don't have that, you can shift into reverse, but it just won't do it. It says,
doesn't do it.
no. I'm not going for that old story.
So that's part of the reason that your high school instructor is correct, because it won't go into reverse, even if it's an automatic, unless you're already going so slow that you could have bailed out anyway. And
now, more than that, the chance that... did I interrupt? I'm terribly sorry.
And you would want to put it in park, except that probably what will happen, it's going to be going real slow before you do that. Yeah. Hey, that was a great question, and get rid of that stupid dog. Going to get you killed on the freeway.
Right.
Well, thank you very much.
Leave a window open so the dog can... not for that reason. So the dog can bark out the window.
Oh, no. You don't want to throw him out?
Well, he liked... unfortunately, we don't still have the dog, but he liked to bark whatever was available.
Yeah.
Through windows.
My brother does that, too. We have to put blinders on him when we take him. Thanks for your call, Karen.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, you've squandered another perfectly good hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug, the subway fugitive, not a slave to fashion, bongo boy, Frogman Berman. Our associate producers are David, the Calves of Belleville Green, and Catherine Frau Blucher Fenolosa. Our web lackey is Doug, the Old Gray Mare, assisted by Connie Bridgeford. Our theme music is by David Dog Grisman, and our technical, spiritual, and menu advisor, just back from the Melrose, Cheetos, Pig's Toes, Mango, Sloppy Joes, Cheerios, and No Does, Anything Goes supper shows, is John Bugsy Law.